lack of self-worth is just epidemic in Western culture. I don't know about the rest of the world, but Western culture, it's at the heart of Western culture. It's even sort of gets personified even in our Western religions, you know, that there's something essentially wrong. At the deep core of my being, there's something wrong, there's something not right. And I approach this, I think, a little differently than some people do, because what I find is often, even in things that are painful and maybe become real hang-ups for us, there's often a part of it that's illusory and there's a part of it that's true. And we need to look at both of those parts. My sense on the deepest level, that sense of inadequacy comes from something that's inherent within the ego structure. Now this is independent of one's life. One's life, what happens in your life, will tend to exacerbate what's inherent within the ego structure, but within the ego structure, at the very core of it, there is a void. There's an emptiness right in the core of the ego structure. It's there. I call it like the dirty little secret that nobody wants to talk about. You know what I mean? I can remember when I was very young and looking at, you know, when you look around, when you're in a state of confusion or you don't know where you are, where you're going in life or things like that, and you feel that sort of personal insecurity, and then you look around you. I remember looking around, this was when I was still very young, and it looked like everybody else seems to have it together. They seem to know who they are, they seem to know where they're going. But as we all age, what we find out is that's not true. That's one of the secrets of humanhood, you know, is that everybody's got it together and we know what we're doing and we know who we are and we know where we're going. And then you scratch below the surface and you realize, I don't know who I am, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know. And what's fueling that is there's this big sort of silent void right in the middle of my experience. And so I try never, never to notice that, you know, which is the Western culture's preoccupation with everything moving faster and faster and faster and faster, because then we never have to stop and recognize that there is an emptiness at the core of the ego structure. The part that's, I think, true and authentic, and the reason that we tend to feel a deficiency, an essential deficiency about our own life, our own humanhood, is it has to do with that core of emptiness, that core void. It's a way that we translate it. It's a way that we relate to it. And we think because there's this core in there, there's this dark, empty space in there, there must be something wrong with me. It's not all light and love and, you know, there's something wrong. The truth of the unworthy component, though, is the way most of human beings hold themselves to who they are, our sort of ego structure and our personality. It's not worthy of being the totality of you. And so there's a part of that unworthiness that's inherent within when we take ourselves to be something we're not. Then the thing we've taken ourselves to be is not worthy of the totality of us. And we feel that. We feel that it's not worthy of it. It's not whole. That part of unworthiness, I think, is not a part that we want to cover up and make go away. It's actually the doorway in. That's the doorway into totality. The doorway in is the thing that everybody's running from. The doorway in is right through the middle of that void at the center of self. That's the doorway. And everything else is window dressing.